Keeping up with his promise to wipe out the illegal migrants from America, United States President Donald Trump on the very first day in office declared a national emergency at the southern borders where, Trump declared the national emergency at the southern border, significantly loosening restrictions on ICE operations. Federal agents have been authorized to conduct raids in previously restricted locations such as courthouses and churches. Sanctuary cities like Boston, Denver, and Atlanta saw large-scale operations on Trump's first full day in office, resulting in the arrests of 308 migrants from over a dozen countries. Within hours of the signing of the executive order, the U.S. Department of Defense jumped into action to execute the deportation of intruders conducting raids at borders. Additionally, 1,500 active duty troops, including 500 Marines, have been deployed to the U.S.-Mexico border following Trump's executive order. These troops are tasked with assisting the Border Patrol, constructing barriers, and flying helicopters for surveillance. On Thursday alone, approximately 2,000 migrants were deported, with an additional 5,000 detained within Mexico's borders. By Friday evening, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement had reported 593 arrests and issued 449 detainers, as the New York Post reports. Photos released by the U.S. Department of Defense reveal military aircraft conducting deportation flights to Guatemala early Friday. Each flight carried around 80 migrants as part of the Pentagon's response to President Trump's recent national emergency declaration. It is noteworthy that the Pentagon plans to deport more than 5,000 migrants currently held in El Paso, Texas, and San Diego, California, using military aircraft. However, the deportation of the migrants was not welcomed by Mexico as it offered resistance to the touchdown of the military flight, marking an obstacle in Trump's intensified immigration enforcement measures, the New York Post reported. The denial on Thursday followed Trump's renewed efforts to strengthen border security, conduct mass deportations, and execute raids since returning to the White House from solemnly swear out. This incident occurred amid heightened tensions between President Trump and Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum. While military planes have been used for international relocations in the past, this is the first known instance in recent memory where they were used to deport migrants, according to a U.S. senior official.
Action again, if we can say as much. He says that he'll be imposing a raft of emergency sanctions now on Colombia after the country refused to accept 2 flights carrying migrants which had departed from California earlier on Sunday. Washington is set now to slap tariffs of 25% on all Colombian goods coming into the United States, and that could rise to 50% in 1 week. Let's get an update now with France 24's Washington correspondent Fraser Jackson. Fraser, thanks so much for joining us. A heavy-handed response from Donald Trump, and almost immediately.
Yeah, of course, we're used to seeing these things from Donald Trump. He has threatened such kind of actions in the past, and it follows the movement by Colombia to reject 2 government flights to allow to land that who were carrying Colombian nationals that Donald Trump says were illegal criminals within the United States. Well, Donald Trump's retribution has been swift, and it has been quite wide-ranging. Speaking on his social media platform, Truth Social, he said Petro, i.e. the leader of Colombia's denial of these flights has jeopardized the national security and public safety of the United States, and the host of measures that he's then putting in place, including an emergency 25% tariff on all goods coming to the US from Colombia. And he says that the 25% tariffs will be raised to 50% in 1 week. He's also issuing a travel ban and immediate visa revocation on the Colombian government officials and all allies and supporters, as well as visa sanctions on all party members, family members, supporters of the Colombian government. And this one will have more of an impact on the everyday person. Enhanced customs and border protection inspections of all Colombian nationals and cargo on national security grounds. He's then floating more sanctions through the Treasury and financial sanctions as well. Now, interestingly, Donald Trump says these measures are just the beginning. He says that there is still more to come. We will not allow the Colombian government to violate its legal obligations with regard to the acceptance and return of the criminals they force into the United States. Now, of course, I think the Colombians will say that they didn't force anybody to go to the United States and that people went of their own volition. But Donald Trump clearly here trying to send a message, because this came on the back of another flight that was denied landing just a few days ago by Mexico. Donald Trump clearly trying not to allow Southern American countries to realize that they have any say in this, and trying to force his hand upon them, as it were.
Well, Trump being criticized heavily by the Colombian president, Gustavo Petro. Petro saying that the Trump administration is treating migrants like criminals. And he was citing video evidence of migrants reportedly being deported to Brazil and then walking on a tarmac, pictured in handcuffs.